Hey Eagles fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into the Eagles Report, and today, fresh reaction, news, and injury updates from the loss to the Seattle Seahawks, 17-9 yesterday. A brutal loss for our Philadelphia Eagles. Before we start, though, just give a thumbs up to Josh McCown for coming into that game, 40 years old, almost winning it, having the chance. Show some love to him, and also comment down below if the hit from Jadeveon Clowney on Carson Wentz was dirty in your opinion. Let me know in the comments. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, let's go ahead and start with Jadeveon Clowney's hit on Carson Wentz. The blow to the head that was not called, that caused a concussion and basically ended Carson Wentz's very first postseason start before it really even got started. So, the question is, was Clowney's hit on Carson Wentz dirty? A lot of reaction from a lot of people in the media this past evening and early in the morning, and people are kind of mixed on both of them. Jason Peters, star left tackle, the bodyguard, was asked about it in the post-game press conference, and he said, yes, it was dirty. He said he saw it happen, and he immediately went to Clowney and said, hey, man, stay off my quarterback. That hit was dirty. Clowney came back and said, quote, I wasn't trying to do it. Now, the NFL referees reviewed the tape, and they released a Twitter statement last night saying that they saw incidental contact on the play because Carson was diving forward. He had not given himself up. That right there is bogus because it doesn't matter if you're diving forward or giving yourself up. A blow with the crown of the helmet to another person's helmet should be a 15-yard penalty and can technically result in someone getting thrown out of a game if it was bad enough. If you ask me, this was a dirty hit by Jadeveon Clowney because Carson is diving forward and is already going to the ground, and Clowney comes in late, lowers the crown of the head, and hits the blow there. So we can debate this in terms of the national media saying Carson Wentz is injury-prone and saying that Carson Wentz only gets hurt. What is he supposed to do when he gets a blow to the back of the head by one of the most freakishly large athletes in the NFL? Blows to the head are worse in the back than in the front. He gets hit in the back, and then his head's driven down into the front. He said, or at least Josh McCown said, our backup quarterback who came in and did some late-game heroics, said he was worried about Carson Wentz on the sideline. They were both sitting on their little Surface tablets, reviewing the previous drive. Remember, Carson didn't immediately go to the medical tent, and McCown said he was worried about Carson Wentz, and Carson Wentz expressed worry to McCown as well, saying, man, I'm not sure how I'm feeling right now. They went to the blue medical tent, assessed by an independent neurologist, and they sent him back into the locker room where his wife came down from the stands, greeted him into the locker room, and they decided that he was unable to play after that. In terms of an update on Carson Wentz, he is okay. So people are worried, how bad is the concussion? Apparently, according to multiple players, he was waiting in the locker room for them after the game and went up and personally shook the hand and thanked every single player on the Eagles team, and even told some of them, including Boston Scott, who told us this story, that he was sorry for being knocked out and sorry for not getting in there. And Boston Scott turned to him and said, man, are you crazy? Like, your health is way more important long term. So overall, a brutal injury. I would argue an injury that changed the face of the game and the outcome here. I think Wentz plays in this game. The defense played great. They held them to 17 points. They have a real shot to win this. They almost had a shot to win it with Josh McCown. And it's just, what can we say? Unfortunate for Carson Wentz. We all love him. I do not think he's injury prone. This was a freak injury. You just got to wonder his psyche in terms of how will he rebound from this 3 straight years. He has ended the season injured, not able to finish the final game of the year. It's been brutal for Carson Wentz, but at least we can all agree the Clowney hit was dirty, and we can all rest assured that Carson Wentz is okay and his teammates go ahead and have his back. Again, comment down below if you thought the hit on Carson Wentz was dirty. I want to hear why and how it affected the game. I want to see your guys' comments down below. Moving on, Zach Ertz finally revealed just how bad his rib and kidney injuries were. Revealed them after the game, saying he had 2, not 1, non-displaced rib fractures. He had rib cartilage that was inflamed and injured. He had a grade 2 lacerated kidney and saw blood in his urine after the final game of the year in Week 17, going back last week when they took on the Giants. So you go back to, essentially, or actually I guess 2 games ago in the Cowboy game, whenever he got hurt, he had blood in the urine. 2 games ago, sorry, not 1. You go back to Zach Ertz saying he was not able to look his teammates in the eye if he was able to go and still sit on the sideline due to his health. He should not have played in this game if you ask an independent doctor in terms of how bad of the injury it was, how much he was playing through pain, yet he wanted to go out there. He said he wanted to play for the city. Hats off to Zach Ertz for actually playing there. This injury is so bad that I've asked people who've had this injury, they say it hurts to talk. It hurts to breathe. And Ertz was laying out for footballs. He was blocking people. The amount of guts this guy had really epitomizes Philadelphia. Hats off to Zach Ertz for playing, but we now know just how bad it was. 2 non-displaced rib fractures. He had rib cartilage that was inflamed. and injured, and also a grade 2 lacerated kidney that resulted in blood in his urine after the Cowboys game. They said it was no future risk of injury, but he'd play through immense pain. That's exactly what he did, and really had a decent game, was drawing a lot of coverages away from guys like Goddard, Greg Ward, and Josh McCown again had the chance to go down the field and win this game, just was completely unable to. Final bit of news here. In terms of the final sack of the game, I wanted to get you guys what I heard in the post-game press conference. So remember the final sack of the game, 4th down and 7. Eagles have gotten into the red zone based on a Josh McCown deep ball. This essentially is a pass interference and gets them 1st down and 10 at like the 15-yard line, whatever it was. Down 8, there's a couple minutes left. You score, convert the 2, and this baby's going to overtime. So McCown, of course, struggles on the first three downs, gets down to 4th down and 7. He takes a sack. So the result of that play, because we all say, how can you take a sack on 4th down and 7, is actually there was miscommunication up front and with the young player. So what McCown said is that the Eagles had 2 plays called at the line of scrimmage, which is what a lot of teams do in that situation. You can go to the line, quarterback looks, and he can audible, or as Carson Wentz normally does, kill the play and change it to the second play. You saw Josh McCown do that during that play, walk up to the line of scrimmage. He checked into play number 2. The problem was some young players, whether it was guys on the right side of the offensive line, wide receivers, all we heard was young players, did not hear McCown's check at the line, meaning they were still in play 1 while McCown was in play 2. We saw the pass protection break down, and as a result, it was a pretty quick sack, and so people were not open down the field. He had pass rushers in his face. He got sacked, and essentially the game was over. So in terms of, you want to blame Josh McCown being 40 years old and not able to move around in the pocket because Wentz could have escaped from that? Sure, Wentz probably could have, but it was more of a communication error instead of an actual quarterback error from Josh McCown. Now, sure, say it a little louder, make sure you got everybody in the right play. These are all things that we think of now, but in the heat of the moment, he thinks his team had the right call or his offensive lineman has the right call. It was just not the case. Not heard when he made that kill to the second play at the line is the reason that Josh McCown resulted in that sack. Although, again, we cannot blame the Eagles' failure to win this football game, I would argue, on Josh McCown's play at all. Josh McCown was sacked 7 times. He was under duress the entire night, still threw his body on the line, made enough big throws to get the Eagles into the red zone. The problem was when you got to the red zone, the Seahawks defense stiffened, and the Eagles were unable to move the football. If that throw from McCown on the second red zone trip, or the third red zone trip on 4th down and 3, the swing route to Miles Sanders, a little bit more in front. Sanders, though, still catches that football. He's around Clowney. That's at least a 1st down and 4th down and 3. Gets them into a 1st and goal situation. There's one Seahawks player in front of him. We know that Sanders has been great at making players miss. You make that player miss, and, you get the end zone, anything can happen. So it's a lot of what-ifs today on the Eagles report. It's tough. It's brutal. I will wear this polo today, even though I'm disappointed. I'm proud of what the Eagles have been able to do. And again, you guys need to thumb this video up to give some support to our Eagles because they were out there without Carson Wentz. They were out there without any decent wide receivers. The entire right side of the offensive line was not there, and a defense decimated by secondary injuries as well. They held Seattle. Russell Wilson, a future Hall of Famer, a Super Bowl MVP, to 17 points and had multiple chances late in this game to score and at least tie it. They were just unable to do so. So I want to just up to you guys quickly here on a couple of bits of news in terms of what happened last night. Carson Wentz, again, is going to be okay. We don't know how long of an extensive concussion it is, but he has all offseason to heal, and he was talking to his teammates, was in the locker room after the game. He should be fine. It was a dirty hit by Jadeveon Clowney. There are no two ways around it. The NFL needs to take a look at this. I would not be surprised if Clowney gets some sort of fine. Even though they didn't call it on the field, they should still be able to go back and look at it. Zach Ertz is an absolute baller, was playing with 2 non-displaced rib fractures, which is unbelievably painful, and I don't think any normal human who doesn't play football will ever fully understand just how much pain Zach Ertz played through. We can never question Zach Ertz's toughness and his love for the city of Philadelphia. And finally, that final 4th down and 7, McCown took a crucial sack. It was because of miscommunication. 2 plays called at the offensive line. They checked to the right. They checked out of one into the other. Whether it was right or wrong, we'll never know. But McCown was not heard by the majority of the offense. So they were in play 1. He was in play 2. And that is the final result for our Philadelphia Eagles. There you go. All the time we have for today on the Eagles Report. Yes, the season is over, but a lot of offseason news and rumors are still churning. So subscribe because even more great stuff is happening over the next couple of weeks and months as we get you guys ready for free agency and the NFL draft here on the Eagles Report. I appreciate each and every one of you. Sorry about the loss. I'm right there with you. It was brutal, but get healthy and make another run at it next year. The Eagles Report, I'm Thomas Mott signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.